Happy Monday. We're going to continue the week of awesome right here with JeBo Media on awesomepodcast.com.
Awesome. Just tell people they're awesome and mean it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Awesome.
Did you have an awesome time? Did you drink awesome shooters and listen to awesome music and then just sit around and soak up each other's awesomeness?
Awesome. 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 That was awesome. You guys are awesome. No. You're awesome. No, you are awesome.
Sir, you are awesome. Seriously.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Welcome to this week's edition of Everything is Awesome. I am your host, Kev, and this is the show where we sit down and talk to awesome people about awesome things. This week we have a couple guys for our guest this week. It's one of those special shows where we have dual guests, and this is one that was intriguing because normally we don't get too much on the businessy side of things when it comes to more creative areas. But because, you know, me and you guys that listen to the show know Mike, he was an early guest on this podcast. We run our own little production company, so it intrigued me when they presented me with what they did and whatnot, so I wanted to talk to them. Please welcome from, and I apologize if I butcher any part of your names or your business name, but from JeBo Media, Paul Prince and Anderson, looking for it in my notes, Bondo.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, me too.
Sorry, just taking a drink there. It's with the old whistle. So, who's who? Let's get that settled.
So, I'm Paul Prince.
And I'm Anderson Bondo.
Okay. It's good. The voices aren't too similar, so I think we'll be good going forward.
Okay.
So, how are you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Where are you guys located at?
We're in Montreal, Quebec. Yeah.
Canada.
Oh, that's right. I was,
Yeah.
you know, and it's funny. I was just discussing earlier with my fiance, who, I was like, yeah, I'm interviewing these guys from Canada, and I don't know how it completely escaped my mind. That's So, not the furthest guest we've had, but our first Canadian guests
nice.
on this show.
Okay.
You got to represent for the country, huh?
Yeah. Well, how about so we go on wild tangents on this show. So let's just start off with one before we get into anything. How
Okay.
about the little Twitter campaign that Canada, I guess it wasn't Canada as a country, but as a people started to support America during our tough times with our election here. Did you guys see that hit the World Wide Web? It was America is already great or something like that?
Well, I didn't really watch the news about that, but I believe your Canadian always supported the American government in somewhat, yeah.
Of course, I understand, the elections, what can I say? What's happening with the elections right now in the United States? A lot of people are get scared or afraid of what's going to happen, but we're all here to support.
Yeah, it's it's funny because a buddy of mine pointed it out, and I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's probably more of a Toronto-based company that started it off.
Okay.
So maybe I don't know. See, to me, Canada is Canada. So again, forgive the ignorance when it comes to me talking about Canada, which I love. I've been up to the Toronto and
Toronto.
Like the Halifax area for work a few times in the past.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed my time up there. It's such a beautiful country, at least all the parts that I've been to.
Yeah, you should come to Montreal one day. It's pretty cool here also.
Yeah, you know, it's the company I was doing work for, they were supposed to be sending me out that way, and then they switched the project I was on, so I never made it out that, I guess for me, west, you know, because I'm East Coast, just with Toronto and stuff, so it's, I live in Philadelphia.
Oh,
Okay.
Philadelphia, nice.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes. But yeah, it's the American election, which is you know, we're about a week away from the actual election. Is, for me, I guess it's kind of a circus, is the way I put it. But I have faith that the American people will hopefully make the right decision, or at least not the wrong one.
Yeah, I hope so. Also, huh?
Yeah.
We're the neighbors, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We're right here.
it's I would say there's probably not many countries that are like America and Canada, or United States and Canada, that are just so kind of intertwined.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's start with the your guys' origins. Or let's start with JeBo Media. What exactly is JeBo Media?
But like JeBo Media is like the name of the company is the name of us both, of our last names. Because me it's Bando and Leo, like his business name is Paul Prince, but his real name is Leopold Jeudi.
Okay,
And
so I knew that it's funny because I was talking to my fiance. I was like, yeah, it's Paul Prince. I was like, that sounds such like a fake name. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the alliteration of it it's a kind of a perfect stage name.
Yeah, it is, huh? That's what I told him.
Yeah, you gotta make it perfect, man.
Okay, so now the company name makes sense now.
Yeah.
And what is it that you guys do with JeBo Media?
What we do music videos. We film. Basically, it's a multimedia company that makes video photography for all type of media outlets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, do you guys are you guys on the creative end of it as well, or are you mainly just like the back end?
We mainly want to be producers, but we're building a team right now, so we want to hire people. But we make movies too. We make movies, short movies, feature-length movies. We make all type of production, everything that has to do with
a
videos.
Mm-hmm.
And we do commercials, all type of stuff. That's basically
Yeah, because now we're really focusing on building the team and also on our name also, because we're a young company who's just starting up, so we have to do the work and then try to go up and be producers.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating to me because I come from a world of so the parent company to this podcast is Crude Humor Studios,
Nice.
and I call it a production company, but it really, I mean, it's in the loosest terms possible. We have not done as much as you guys. Like the resumes can't even compare with JeBo and Crude Humor Studios. But the whole reason me and my partner created it was because we liked the creative aspect. We're like, okay, let's just write and film and create our own stuff.
Nice.
Because it's easier that way. Like we live in this great time where new media rules all.
Yep.
So I understand it from like that point of view, but you guys sound like your goal is producer. So where's the origin point in that? Like at what point were you like, I want to not necessarily create as my focal point, but like produce other people's stuff?
Okay, I would say where it came from is like me and Leo where we met is at Trebis Institute in Montreal. It's near Metro McGill, so shout out to everybody that goes there.
Yeah.
And pretty much what happened is when I came with an idea, I always wanted to be a director. You know, a lot of people, they go to film school, everybody wants to be a director. And once I got in a class with my teacher, his name is Daniel Roy, and he taught us a bit about more the producing part of filmmaking. And when I heard about that, I learned a little bit about it, read about it, and I was like, it's pretty fascinating. It's just what I like with producing is you can be everywhere by being nowhere at the same time. Like, if I explain it, it'll be like, let's say I can be in 6 different sets, having 6 different productions happening at the same time, and it can still be somewhere else while taking care of everything. Let's say when you're a director, you have to be at the same spot, the whole day, you know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my part.
Okay, that is a fascinating aspect. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yes,
exactly.
And all the pots.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Me myself, like I started writing, like before. I started writing before I went to school, so that's why I wanted to make movies, all those stuff. But before everything, it started with writing. I'm a writer at first, and then I've got, you know what? I want to have my team. I want to build a team, stuff like that, to make the movies, to make the cast and stuff like that. So that's why I said, you know what? I should team up with Bondo because Bondo want to be a producer too, and that's when we came with the name. Yeah.
Perfect. Now, what was what's it like? Because for me, we've at most done like some skits and sketches, some very short things,
Okay.
and then a lot of audio production.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's pretty easy because in the world of podcasting, it's nothing too fancy.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to? And I don't know what part of the creative process you're in with a music video, but what's it like being in that world of it's kind of music first that's telling a little story in about a 3 to 7 minute window maybe.
About music, me personally, I love music videos. What I like about it is can be super creative without thinking too much. Like let's say in a movie, everything has to make sense, has to be chronological, has to make sense with the scene before or after. When the music video is really like when you can be really creative.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part, let's say we worked with an artist, Drew, one of the artists in Montreal, and we were just thinking about some ideas to do for a story. But at the same time, what we tried to do is we did a music video. At the same time, we put a story inside the music video. It's like a mini film with music, so it was pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So like the aspect of music video is like I feel like you're more free. You can be more creative, more free, and be less afraid of this shot is not gonna match. Think about continuity and all this stuff.
That's true. Yeah, I agree.
See, I and maybe it's because and my audience knows this. Like, I'm not a music guy, so like
No?
as a kid, I grew up with talk radio. I grew up with Howard Stern and Opie and
Oh,
Anthony.
yes.
So and Howard Stern, I know is international. I was about to start spouting off some names that you guys have never heard of.
But Howard Stern, everybody knows Howard.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
everyone knows Howard.
With Sirius XM, yeah.
Yes. I'm sure. Like he's. So you guys have Sirius is up in Canada too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
of
There's always
course.
serious here.
Yeah. So Howard. I mean, I'm sure, and he was international before he was on satellite too.
Yeah.
But I mean, so for you guys in all of Canada, you know, when I can say like one of my big influences is Howard Stern, and I mean that doesn't really reflect the shows that I do now, but yeah. So for music, like I have my taste in music. It kind of stuck in the '90s somewhere.
Oh yeah.
That's the best
but-
times.
I agree. I feel like I mean, I guess this is every person who, you know, I'm sure the people that loved the music of the 70s say the music of the 90s was crap. But
Yeah.
for me, like the music today is, for the most part, crap. There's still some stuff that's good. But
Yeah.
again, like it's not even about that. You know, I say I'm a 90s music fan. I probably know 1% of the music from the 90s that everyone else that's a normal, you know, child of the 90s would know, because I kind of grew up like, well, I'm going to listen to talk radio, or I'm going to like watch movies instead of listening to music, or watch TV instead of listening to music when I do homework. So that's why I think like the idea of a music video is so haunting.
But it's not that hard. Like it's really if like you told me you did some skits and then it's not really that different. It's just you have to think in a different way. Like the way our teacher taught us is just you have to just think about it in a creative way and pretty much try to edit with the beat, and the rest is gonna be okay.
And most of the time, the artist already know what he wants. Like, he want that, they want that. Like, I want like sometimes they want the story, or we suggest a story, and we tell, okay, it would match your video if you had a story, because the artist we had, he want just a music video. Said, you know what, with the story you have, we could add, with the music you have, we could add a story to it, make it people follow the music better. Because the thing about videos, if you keep showing the same thing over and over, it gets boring, like it gets flat. So you have to show something new every time, so people get interested in the video. The song can be good and the video is flat. You want the video to boost the video, not the music, not to make it
The other way around.
get the other way around. So that's why we have to make the music as good as the song, or even better sometimes, because sometimes the song's not as good and the video is the best part of the song. So
Well, and that kind of speaks to me, because I'm just kind of cracking open the memories from the 90s, and I remember, and no music videos really specifically, but in the States, and specifically in my area, in the Philly area, there was this channel called the Box, and it was like an on-demand pay per video service where you could call and say, I want to watch the Bon Jovi video, or I want to watch the Spice Girls video, or whatever video it was. You could call up and say, I'm ordering video number 99, and they charge you like $2 for it. It was like, I guess it was YouTube of its time, YouTube of the 90s, except you had to pay for it. And me and my buddy would literally like spend our days off in the summer, like at least once a week, just ordering videos all day long. and for me, it definitely wasn't about the music; it was more about the video, because it is a little story. So that's I think as a coming from like a writing aspect, because it's something that I'm finally jumping back into after all these years. Is I'm working on a novel, and I'm working on a screenplay. Nice. Ironically, a rock opera.
A rock opera.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, it's so my production company, we helped produce the original version of. I'm writing the sequel. We helped produce the original, which is a parody of. I don't know. I'm sure you guys get it because it's filmed up there in at least Vancouver. But it's a parody of Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And I mean, I say we helped produce it. We did literally. I don't know how we got a credit on it, because we really didn't do anything except help them with their website. But we're kind of tight with the team that created it and whatnot. And like they just wrapped up their film tour, and I've been a fan. It started off as a web series, and they made a rock opera, like an hour-long movie out of it. And so yeah, I'm kind of busting out the chops for writing a screenplay again, and it is going to be music based, which is such an uncomfortable zone. So I guess this is my maybe after this I could tackle a music video.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Like it's always the first I find is the hardest, because like the first one we did, of course did I do it properly? What happened with this? Did it follow the beat? Is there enough movement? But that's how you learn in this industry also, is by doing. The more you do, the more you learn.
That sounds like the Kevin Smith mentality almost.
Yeah.
Are you guys Smith fans?
I do know Kevin Smith a little bit. I don't know too much about him, but I respect his work, and he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, he kind of has that mentality of you learn by doing, and because he went to the Vancouver School of Film or whatever. And he dropped out like halfway through the year just so he could go write his movie, so he could do instead of learn, which isn't for everybody. No. I think school is important, especially in film for certain people. I happen to be on the Kevin Smith side of things, as if I learn better by doing. And that's kind of like that's the journey that we're on now, is making bigger strides. Sounds like a similar thing that you guys, except you guys have already made bigger strides compared to us. Yeah. So what's influenced you as kids, and how, are you guys children of the 90s? Are you like late 20s, early 30s?
Well, I'm 24.
And I'm 23.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got about a decade. I'm 32, so we got about a decade.
Not that much. Still young.
Yeah, not that much.
Yeah, no, not in today's world. So you guys are like, you guys are actually children of the 90s. I was like a teenager in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
But for me, like that's where all my influence comes from the 90s. Like I was born in 84, so I lived more of the 80s than I didn't. But you don't remember jack shit until you're about 7 years old. So,
exactly.
So I consider myself a child of the 90s, but you guys are literally children of the 90s. So what are some of your influences that brought you into the entertainment business?
Well, first of all, like when we went to school, we went to a film school.
Mm-hmm.
So we started learning about different directors and whatnot, and what they did, and we appreciate their work, such as, I don't know if you know, Alfred Hitchcock, Martin Scorsese, and we really like that with their work, and foreign directors too from Japan, like Kurosawa, and what they did with their work, and we wanted to do the same thing here, like we wanted to make our own videos, our own movies, and we actually do premiering a movie this December 15th, our first movie.
Oh.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Feature length, like hour and a half, 2 hour movie?
It's not a feature length, but it's a medium length movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean I think that's great. Like that's kind of my aim. Is I would call an hour long about a medium length movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's perfect, especially for like a first film. Now, did you guys just produce it, or did you write it and direct it as well?
I wrote it
And I directed.
Bondo directed
Perfect
it. Yeah.
team.
Yeah. And so we worked with the team in Montreal, and what we try to do is give back to because what I find what's hard with this business is to start. I don't find there's enough opportunities for people like to start in this industry. So it's asking for people for this much years of experience and this and that, and people coming out of film school, they can't find anything. It's also that's one of the reasons why we created this company. Also, it's for really to like help people come on out of school to find them a good opportunity to work, hone their skills, and become somebody in the film industry. You know.
Yeah, and it sounds like a very Canadian thing to do.
Yes, I think it is, huh?
Yeah, it's not something that I think I've ever really heard of. People doing out this way. Now, I also live in Philly, which is not the heart of the entertainment business at all. We're close to like the East Coast of the heart, which is New York, but. And Philly's starting to get a little bigger. There's a push, big push, especially from indie actors who live on the East Coast to kind of make Philly bigger.
Like Will Smith and such, yeah.
Yeah. And there used to be, and this is, I don't know how true this is, so this might be, but this is some like weird trivia that someone told me.
Okay.
There used to be in Jersey, and I don't think it was called Hollywood, but in New Jersey, which is not far from me, there used to be Hollywood, basically. It was the Hollywood of East Coast, like before Hollywood was in California.
Oh yeah, for real?
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be you guys after the show, and everyone listening to this can probably Google it and disprove that. But that's just some random trivia that someone told me at some point, which kind of makes sense because as far as America or United States is concerned, we started on the on the East Coast, so it makes sense that the entertainment industry started here, and that's why New York is so big and whatnot. Now see, it's interesting. Montreal, it doesn't sound to me like the big area to do film. I guess Vancouver kind of has that rep for Canada, correct?
Yeah, like I would say Vancouver and Toronto has pretty much of the rep.
But most of there's a lot of making movies that are being filmed in Montreal. Yeah, a lot of now Montreal is on the rise. Before it wasn't. But like a lot of movies, like I don't know, X-Men.
There was also the Quantico series.
Yeah, Quantico's film here. If you heard about the show.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but
it's pretty good, huh?
And the Narco season 3 is filming in Montreal right now. So.
So you guys are getting a lot more play than Philly.
Exactly. It's starting to happen around here. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a couple shows. I know Brad Pitt is doing a movie too. He's producing a movie. I
heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually in Montreal right now being filmed. So yeah.
Well, I would imagine that Montreal, especially for like an American movie, it has to be like a great place to film, especially if you're looking for like that. Maybe I'm talking way out of turn again, my ignorance on Canada.
Okay.
But it's got the French feel to it. Right?
Yeah,
it does. Sure.
So I mean that's got to be a nice option to save on money instead of going to France. You can go right to Montreal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you would save
a lot. That far.
Yeah, because the thing too, like the houses are like European houses. If you go, it's not the same look as a New York or Boston or whatnot. So
exactly.
So if you wanna have the European feel, yeah, they usually come to Montreal.
They come to Montreal. They just go to the old port the old port near downtown Montreal. They pretty much look like a European country.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So is Montreal that much different than like Vancouver and Toronto?
I would say it is really different, and even the culture itself, because in Montreal there's all the French people, and what's funny with Montreal, my girlfriend always tells me that it's like Montreal's like it's separated because people in Montreal speak French, but they also speak English. Like people in the East they all speak French, and people in the West they all speak English, and it's like there's a line separating everybody. Because people in the East never go in the West, and people in the West never go in the East.
It is true.
It's
true,
like a foreign country. It's like, I don't know. East people, who is that?
Yeah,
people living east of Montreal, for real.
The funny thing is, you can go in the West and the person that lives in the West doesn't know a word in French.
Yeah.
And then the East Coast, the completely opposite. Like they cannot speak
One word in English.
One word in English.
It happens. It's
I've
pretty
seen
crazy.
this. Yes, it's a people always say, okay, Canada, it's a bilingual country, but sometimes like you don't see that. Like
you don't see it.
But some people,
yeah.
like most, like I think about
Yeah.
20% of Canadians speak both languages, but for the most part, they only speak one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, and that's interesting because talking about how I used to work up in Canada, my boss actually did work up in Montreal, and he had local Montreal guys working with him, and they didn't speak a lick of English. He didn't speak a lick of French.
Yeah.
And so, but he knew Spanish really well, and and I guess he was, and you guys can tell me if this is true at all. Because I took 5 years of Spanish, but I know 3 words. but he was able to teach them certain Spanish words and like use Spanish as like a language barrier breaker. And like kind of like French slang, I guess, is what they were using it as. Is that a thing that happens up there, or is that just like a unique experience?
I think it's pretty much a unique experience. I think he was lucky.
He was lucky.
Yeah, I think he was really lucky. He found some people that spoke a little bit of Spanish, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, it's see, that would be like, that was when I was told I was going to do work up there. That was my big fear, because I was like, listen, guys, I took 5 years of Spanish and I don't understand it. I took 3 months of French in 8th grade. I'm not going to understand it.
Yeah.
But the thing too, like Spanish is closer to French than English. Yeah. Like people that speak French, it will be easier to speak Spanish than people that speak English. That's true.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha. It's and again, I mean, it's definitely, we live in a world, and we have lived in a world for years now, where even as an American, a United States guy should definitely know more than just the United States American language, English language. And I am 100% guilty of saying, well, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah. It'll come.
I like to think myself as an open liberal guy, but it is my ignorance when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's like I was down in Florida for a vacation when I was a teenager, like I was maybe 19 years old. And we were at Universal Studios, and bunch, down there you get a mix of every culture. But there's also a lot of Spanish people peeking down there because of how close they are to Cuba and stuff. And someone was trying to ask me how to open one of the locker systems, and it was like a fingerprint read. And they were asking me in Spanish, and they were pointing to it, and I was like, "Oh, I got this. I took 5 years of Spanish. I got this." And like I know Mano was hand, so I was like, "Manito," and then I just pointed at the machine, and Manito is not finger.
No. What is Manito? Is it even a word?
I don't think it is.
No.
But if you don't know Spanish, like clearly I don't, I think that's a logical step to take.
Yeah, huh?
I guess.
I would say it also, huh? Why not Manito? It is Manito fingers. Is the same thing, no? Yeah, pretty close.
It's just I like to tell stories that make me look like a fool, and
it's okay.
It's what drives the creative force, is all those past experiences.
Of course.
So as kids, like kids growing up in the 90s, legitimately, what actually influenced, like what you said you some things that influenced you in film school, but before that, like what made you want to go to film school?
Like seriously, I always loved films, like since I was a kid. But my parents are like the typical immigrant parents. So like from a young age, you have to be a doctor, you have to be this, you have to be a lawyer, and blah blah blah. So I'm kind of guilty about it, so I try to follow that path, try to go into more like a law school and some stuff like that, and I really didn't enjoy that at all. And I was always like a movie passion. I was used to watch films late at night. I used to sometimes sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, then wake up at 6 just to watch movies and TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I can memorize. I used to be able to memorize the lines of every movie. I was a crazy movie fanatic. So then after that, at some point, I worked in a little office job, and I was like I wasn't comfortable. I didn't like it. It's like I was like, this is not the life I wanted. I want. It's boring. It's not for me. I'm an out there guy. I want to have fun and stuff. So then I decided to go in film school, and I think for me it's the best decision I ever had. So I will never go back and change nothing about it. Maybe the only thing I would change, maybe go to film school earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for me, like I started doing short movies, and they were not they weren't the best ones, right? So I wanted to know how to do it professionally and how to write better and some techniques I could use for my moves and stuff. So that's why I chose to go to film school. I actually chose to go to film school while I'm studying civil engineering. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of was studying civil engineering. Well, it wasn't the end of my bachelor, so while going to film school, so I was going back and forth with the university and the school. So that's how dedicated I want to be.
Busy, yeah.
If you want something, like the same thing. Like my parents really wanted me to be a civil engineering because my dad's an accountant and a lawyer, so they want that prestige name on the wall. So I gave them the bachelor. Oh, thank God. So they let me. So I told them, I'm gonna go back to civil engineering if my career in film doesn't work. But so far it's going pretty well. So they're supporting me with the stuff I'm doing. So
that's very cool. Very cool. That's always nice. And I guess it's so. Are your parents originally from France or?
No, my parents are from Haiti.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
My parents are Haitian, and Fobondo is Haitian and Congolese.
Exactly. My dad is from Congo. My mom's from Haiti.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you guys were you guys born in Canada or were you born? Okay, so you guys are first generation Canadians from your family.
Me, I was actually born in New York. I was born in Brooklyn.
He's actually an American.
Yeah. Oh, so you're an American faking the Canada way. Okay.
But I've been living in Canada for 7 years, and the thing is, like, I lived in Haiti for a bit. I was born in New York, and at the age of 3, I moved back to Haiti. Okay. And at the age of 14, I moved back to the States. And at 18, I left for Canada. So basically, yes, I'm American, but the culture, I don't know, like it's
kind of mixed.
It's kind of mixed. Like I'm everywhere. I've been in Haiti, the States, now Canada. I live in Canada more than the States. Okay. As you understand, I live in Canada, like. I spent 4 years in the States, like not counting the first 3 years. I was a toddler, right?
Yeah,
so at least 4 years in the States, like literally, and I'm already been in Canada for 7 years. So basically, like yes, I'm American, but at the same time, I'm not American.
Like a hybrid.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what? As the Philly guy, I'd say if my choice is New York or Canada, I definitely take Canada. I mean, hell, if my choice is Philly or Canada, I'm going to take Canada if I can make the choice. I would just have to imagine that anywhere in Canada has to be more beautiful than at least New York City. Like New York City's great, but it's not, to me, it's not a beautiful city. It's not a city that like I can stare at and say, "Wow, that's beauty." Like it's just it's a fascinating city. It's a great city. It's a lively city. I enjoy going there when I go there, but it's when I go to Canada and I look at like the skylines there, it's I don't know. I feel something else, something different.
Okay.
Because, I understand what you mean a little bit. Because, like, New York, what I find New York is, like, it's a really busy city. Everybody's, like, in their box. Nobody says hello to nobody.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really like a corporate. It's like the whole city is corporate. Everybody's corporate. When I like what I like with where we live in Montreal, people are like, even here, you have that also, like, if you go downtown. But when you go a little bit out, people are, like, more welcoming. There's more warmth. Yeah. You can feel the love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'll give you the third option if you come to Philly. We are just complete a-holes.
For real?
You know what? I say that as a joke a lot, because it is what we're known for. Philadelphia is really known as the rough and tough city of the East Coast. Okay. But to give a story that lives up to that stereotype, myself is that I'm from Philly. I'm a Philadelphia Philadelphia Eagles fan. You know, we are diehard. We don't like the NFC East, especially the Cowboys and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So when I was working the gig that took me to Canada, it also took me to Dallas a few times.
Nice.
So the first time I went to Dallas, I said, you know what? I'm doing it. My travel gear was wearing my Eagles jersey, my Eagles hat, and I landed in Dallas, and I'm like, I got a big smirk on my face. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a coffee and start some shit. and oh my God, the people of Dallas are so incredibly nice.
Oh yeah,
like yeah, like they were like, oh yeah, your birds, they're doing real well, right? I'm like, yeah, they are doing well. Dallas sucks. And like, yeah, we are kind of stuck in this year. I'm like, okay, this is not going the way I wanted it to.
No,
like it really painted a reflection of what Philadelphia fans are like. I think. But for the most part, like me as a person walking around Philly, you know, it's probably more or less the same as New York. That might even be more of a United States thing. Is like, in big city life at least, it's like it's corporate almost. I live in the burbs. I live in the suburbs of Philly, so it's a lot more friendly. I walk around my neighborhood with the kids and whatnot, and we're all real friendly with one another. And you know, I don't know anyone really in my neighborhood except for my next door neighbor. So. I'd say that maybe it's not even a states or America thing. It might be just kind of a big city thing, no matter where you go.
I think so. I think it is. You know, especially like if you go downtown, and it's pretty much the same thing. I would say like in North America. But like me too. I'm a suburbs guy. Like the city, I can't stand living in the city.
Nah.
No, I wanted to live in the city for a long time. There was a brief period of time where I would go down there every weekend. I really enjoyed it, and then and I would say if I didn't have kids, it would definitely be like my goal to move down into the city for whatever reason. I don't know why. I guess you can walk everywhere. I don't know.
It's true.
But yeah, as an adult, to do the adult thing, it's live in the suburbs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Plus, it is a lot nicer. You don't have to deal with, you know, when I want to drive somewhere, it's easy to drive somewhere.
Yeah, at least you can also park your car.
yeah, exactly.
That's the problem in Montreal, man.
You can't park
when
nowhere
you go downtown, there's no parking. Oh my God.
So going back to talking about your parents, and they pushed you to do to be lawyers and whatnot, the immigrant parent, if you will. It's fascinating because I feel like you guys kind of border on that generation, and I think if you weren't immigrant, or if your parents weren't immigrant parents or whatever, maybe it would be this way. But I feel like that your age borders on the parents that were of that generation to say, do what makes you happy, not that. Like I kind of border that. Like my parents pushed me into teaching, which I don't do at all. I tried it going to school for a little bit, and I opted to get out of it. And but I'd say me and you guys, you know, you're definitely millennials. I'm on that border of Gen X and millennial, but I think the millennial generation, as they become parents, they are, I feel, 100% the generation that says do what you love.
Yes, that's for sure. I'll push that to once I have kids. I don't have kids yet. I'm not the father yet. I wish one day, but I'm gonna push it to my kids. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
In life, you gotta do what makes you passionate. What makes you like want to wake up in the morning. Not exactly
before it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for me, for instance, like I found out at 20, probably 7 or 28, was like, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do something in movies. I think I want to do something in the entertainment business, and that's certainly not too late or anything.
No.
But you know, my son was either in womb or just out, you know, just born. So it definitely certainly makes it harder to do that kind of stuff. Hence the reason 5 years later, I'm finally kind of getting to it. But it's certainly, I wish something that was pressed upon me as a teenager, you know, to do what you love, find out whatever you love and find a way to make money off of it, because that's how you'll truly be happy.
Of course.
You know, instead of the mentality of, well, take the safe bet, you know, make sure you get the degree and make sure you get the job with the 401k and stuff like that. It's just kind of, it's nice seeing how, I guess, you know, we're progressing as a society as a whole.
Yeah, but that's why like we have to fight for that. That's why we really have to push that into mentality to people, not even just the kids, even people that are a little bit older. Like let's say you have people that are 40 years old, they want to change because it's never too late to do what you want to do. There's always a time when you can just go and wake up one morning and like seriously I'm not happy and like try to transition and do whatever you want because even at 40 or 50 you're still young. There's still time.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tim Miller, the dude that directed Deadpool.
Oh yes.
He was I think he's 52 ish.
Yeah.
So he's a perfect example of someone who really wanted to direct a movie, and this was kind of like leaking that Deadpool footage so many years ago was like his Hail Mary to direct a feature film. So yeah, I mean, it is never too late. It's definitely, I'm 32. I'm still young. Even if I was 42, you can still. It's never too late until you're literally at death's door.
Yes, that's it. I agree.
Completely agree.
So besides your feature, let's talk about your feature again. So I feel like we glossed over that. What's the name of your feature?
It's called MBM. So basically, it's like an acronym. The real name will be like Montreal Black Mafia.
Okay.
Yes, and pretty much it's like a little bit like the typical not let's say typical like we try to do it a little bit different, but it's how can I say the Montreal film happening in Montreal because we want to put like I said we want to put like Montreal on the map, have Montreal more views, more content in the entertainment world to put it like on the map. So people can know, yes, stuff are happening in Montreal. So that's pretty much it. It's a little movie. What's happening is it's like they say this guy, we call him James Cell, or the main actor. And what happening is that James Cell, his wife got killed, and he has to find like who killed his wife. And there's a lot of stuff happening. I don't want to spoil the punch, so you'll see.
Very cool. And that's coming out December 15th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how's it being released?
It's first we're gonna release it. We're gonna do a premiere viewing on a theater nearby. So we're gonna have 2 viewings. Then we got guests coming, and after we're gonna do a tour with the festival with the movie to show like a bit like producers. Because the thing is, it's a small budget movie. It wasn't really done with I feel like if we had more like money, we would have done it a bit longer. And we did not pay the actors. The actors did it with goodwill because we didn't have the money to pay them. But they did it.
It's indie.
Yeah, exactly. It's indie. So they really understand. We gave them we promoted them. We did trailers, like posters, all that. And now we're gonna show the movie to actual some sponsors. So they sponsor the movie, and we can make a future. If we make MBM 2. They will actually get paid.
Yes, exactly. Or even maybe even do a remake and make it like a longer, have more time to add more depth to the film. At the same time, so we have like a IMDb page. So if you want to look it up, you just write MBM on IMDb, you're gonna find it.
Very cool.
Yes.
Do you guys have anything else that we should be looking out for in the near future?
We're working on another movie that I wrote. So we're gonna probably release it at the end of 2017. Okay. This one, we're hoping it to be funded and longer. So it is between March and April. We're gonna film it, and by next December, October, we'll be releasing the movie called Run. So the Run, it will be a suspense horror movie.
Okay.
So this one's an action thriller. So this basically it's a gangster movie. Like it was more powerful. Like you killed my wife. I'm a sick who did it and get my revenge. That's basically what. And the story. This one's more of like a woman's movie. Like it's a powerful woman that learns how to defend herself when in danger. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
What do you guys think of being indie, of like the crowdsourcing movement? I feel like that's kind of part of your generation as well. What are your thoughts on like Indiegogo and Kickstarter and stuff like that?
Like a lot of people want to do movies. Like it's not easy to make movies, but if you have the talent and the willing, even without money, you can make a great movie. Like me, like we've seen the footage. Even if we did not do the movie, I don't know if you If you type MBM the trailer, everybody, wow, how much money did you spend to make this movie? No, who said like we spent all the money in our pocket. We did not spend a single, like we're not funded. Like it's all money that did that. We bought
Yeah,
the equipment, everything. Really? So basically, our goal for this movie, if you like how directors always say, like producers, if you can make something out of nothing,
Yeah.
imagine what you can do with actual money. So that's the goal for this movie. That's what we
exactly.
want to do around in the theater. We actually pay the room, like we're gonna invite people. It's free. Like people that wants to come.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
completely free. And the thing is, like, we're asking for donation. Like if you have money, you wanna donate. So because we're doing movies to the company. But yeah, like there's gonna be sponsors. If they like it, that's what we're hoping for. If they
Yeah,
like it,
exactly.
they will fund our company and sponsor us for future
Because
movies.
I find with indie movies, you can also like if you also create your fan base and some stuff like if you like as I saw a lot of guys some YouTube guys that started a bit with doing YouTube videos and got money from Kickstarter and Indiegogo like you were saying. I find in these day and age it's pretty. I wouldn't say it's easy. It's not still not easy to get some funding, but it's not as hard as it was before. And even in terms of equipment, like they see DSLR equipment is getting affordable and getting better quality and some stuff like that. So
Yep.
so I find like I wouldn't say indie movie got easier, but it's more like accessible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely say it's interesting because being a Kevin Smith fan,
Yes.
you know, he used to go out there and say, "You want to tell a story, you hate my movies or whatever, go make your own movie." And the part that he didn't tell you is how much it costs to
Exactly.
make a movie. But it's definitely we live in that age now where I mean you can make a movie on your phone. Like it's not unheard of to whip out your iPhone 7 or whatever
Exactly.
and just get the the proper adapters to film a film. I forget what the film was that was at Sundance, but there was a Sundance film. I think in 2016, January 2016, maybe it was January 2015, that was filmed purely on the iPhone. We'll say 6 at the time.
Yeah.
And that's insane. Like it's insane how accessible filmmaking is today, especially like if you're going to kind of concentrate to start out like in the new media world of YouTube and stuff. Like there's no reason that that you can't just use your phone. You don't need
course.
any kind of fancy equipment. You don't need a fancy DSLR or whatever. I'm talking on my ass now because I'm an iPhone guy. I use that. We use the phones to record everything. So
But yeah, if that's what you have, that's what you have to use. Like I always say, like the thing is, you can have $1 million camera, and the thing you film, it's not nice. Like we've seen
You have to know
movies
how
you
to
don't like.
operate
Like
it.
it's like that's a
Yeah.
shady movie, and they cost like 50, $30 million to do. And there's some movies I've seen myself personally that cost like maybe $50,000 or maybe less. That were like, wow, this is a good. So
It's all about the
basically,
technique.
film making is not about having money. It's about talent and how you use the camera.
Yeah.
It's always about how your crew works together, how coordinated it is, how prepared they is. If they take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you take it seriously, you know what you're doing. No matter the budget it's gonna be a success. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was gonna say offer some advice to young filmmakers out there, but I think that's it. I think that's like a perfect way to phrase it is just be learn your talent, learn your field, become that talented guy.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, that's perfect words.
Like-
All right, let's throw some social media plugs and whatever else you want to plug out there
Of course.
before we let you guys go.
Okay, so I would say like us, everything is really JeBo Media, so it's really GEBOMEDIA,
Yeah.
JeBo Media.
So
So
we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever you want. Like even Snapchat, like what we're doing when we're filming, like so people get the whole experience of the film
behind
and
the
what we're
scenes.
doing. So we invite people to be on set with us with Snapchat, and so we release the videos we do. Like we promote people on Instagram. Like if we did a video for like a commercial or something or not, what we'll release it and promote it on all media platforms, helping them get the advertisement they need.
exactly.
So and we help ourselves too, of course. So So yeah, so it's like you said.
That's the millennials in you. You just
Of
talked about
course.
Snapchat, and
Yeah.
I cowered like a little. That's
know?
when I become a Gen Xer. I'm like, oh god, it's new. I don't like it.
You don't know how to use it. It's pretty easy. You should get into it.
It's, you know what? I tried it once.
Yes.
Like when it first was released, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like like that's where you can tell that I'm old. And I'm 32. Like it's stuff that, like, I just kind of embraced within the last like year and a half. I've really embraced Twitter. Like Twitter, I love Twitter, and Instagram I'm starting to embrace because it's not like I just take a picture and post it. Snapchat, I have no idea what I'm doing, and don't know why. It is truly the first thing that I've come across where I've become an old man that said it scares me.
Yeah, it's basically
pretty
what
much
you're doing
different.
right now.
Yeah, it's different because it's really like it's like a 10-second video or photo of what you're doing pretty much right now. So it's like a story, like that's what they call it, the story, because it's like the story of your day. And so you're in your car doing a little Snapchat on set, a little Snapchat, and people then they click on your video and they see what you did the whole day. It's pretty cool, and it stays just for 24 hours. So people can save it on their phone.
If you really wanna see who uses Snapchat really well, I think what's his name, DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
God, this guy literally tells you it's everything he does in the Snapchat. If he goes in Snapchat, you will
you have to watch that one.
Where is DJ Khaled? Everywhere.
All right. Maybe I'll dip my toe. Maybe in 2017, I'll dip my toes into Snapchat.
New Year's resolution, huh?
Yeah, we'll see if I take that leap.
Oh, of course.
God. Paul Anderson, thank you for doing the show, guys.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Yes,
It's been a
and
pleasure.
we will post all your links in our show notes so people can easily find you guys.
Okay.
Good luck at your premiere. I'm excited for you guys. I love when people get to premiere their indie movement or movie rather, and I love that you're touring it. That's like a fascinating, like very indie thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you follow us on like our pages, just send us an email or whatever. Okay, that's me, and it will probably, when the movie is like on the internet, we'll send you a link so you can watch it too. So,
of course.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yes, that's exciting. Again, congratulations, guys. Really excited for your premiere, and it sounds like you're doing some very great work over there at JeBo Media. And you guys are putting Montreal on the map there.
Of course. Thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Of course. For Everything is Awesome, I'm your host, Kev, and you can find this show right here on awesomepodcast.com. Take care. We've been awesome.